Good morning, Ray Peck. I'm Asa Stone.
And I'm Emma Gomez, and welcome to this week's edition of kptv,
Panther Television.
Starting off with Cameron Lowe, bringing us the scoop on the boys basketball team's success.
Being 20-3 is a big deal for Ray-Pec's boys basketball team, including being first in the state at one point in the season and bringing home a couple of tournament trophies. Coach Jermaine gives insight on why the team is so successful this season.
We've been able to stay away from injury. That's been a big help for us. A lot of our kids put a lot of time in, and a lot of time in shooting, ball handling, stuff like that, and that's very much a part of any success is really putting in the time, and they've been willing to do that.
Senior Kian Scroggins is a big contributor to the team's success and believes that the results on the court are a product of the team's chemistry.
We mess around a lot, hang out after practice and school and stuff like that, so I think stuff like that will actually develop onto the court, and so it helps out a lot.
Crowd pumper-upper Spencer Harris, who is a major supporter of the basketball team, believes that the mentality of the team is what makes them so great.
Even if we go out and we beat them by 30, or it's a team we've already beat by 30, they never get cocky, no matter if we're still ranked 1 in the state or whatever. They always are focused on winning, no matter who they're playing.
Scroggins has a strong mentality to keep moving forward and pushing the team by setting forth a plan to take it one game at a time.
Have the same mindset, just work hard each and every day, just come a little bit more prepared and just have fun, and we'll win.
Jermaine would love to see our boys win a state championship, but that is not everything.
Just seeing these young men grow up, seeing them and what they're going to become, seeing the friendships that they've made, and just how they've left our program in a better place. I think those are the things that are about as awesome, if not more awesome.
Win or lose, Scroggins believes that this is the season he will never forget.
We just have a great group of guys that just care for each other, love each other, just want the best for each one.
You can watch Keen and the rest of the boys basketball team compete this Friday at home against Blue Springs. This has been Cameron Lowe for KPTV, Panther Television.
Thank you, Cam. Make sure you guys come out and support your boys basketball team for the rest of the season.
Next up, Nate Morris explains to us why it's important to start budgeting your money right now.
It is not uncommon for teens to have jobs, but most don't know how to manage the money after the first paycheck. Tina Foltz, a finance teacher at Ray Peck, has many viewpoints on why budgeting is important to high school students and teenagers in general.
Budgeting, for the most part, is keeping track of your income and expenses. And then at the end of that, then you're going to figure out if you made money or lost money that month. Hopefully, with budgeting, you have lots of discretionary income left over.
Some students are curious about when they should start budgeting.
I highly recommend you do it as soon as possible. Like as soon as you start making income, I think it's a really good idea to start keeping track of your spending and allocating where that money goes.
When first setting up a budget, mistakes will be prevalent. Foltz brings forth the most common mistake made by new budgeters.
So a lot of times we'll think that things are needed, and sometimes they're just a want.
Xavier Sanders, a senior at Ray Peck who has accomplished personal finance and a financial literacy course for college, infers the importance of budgeting with high school students.
I feel like budgeting is an important skill because when you're in high school or you're just a kid in general and you're working, it's so easy to spend money recklessly and not even understand how much money that is coming through your hands. And when you start to budget, you don't have to run into scenarios where your card gets declined at McDonald's to get a $1 drink or something.
Sanders also shares why people should start budgeting as soon as possible.
It will save you a lot of trouble later in the future when you do get a hold of a good paying job or something that has an increased pay and you're just not blowing through money like that. So it's something good to start off now compared to struggling with it later in the future.
Teachers often have to budget for the classroom and not just for themselves. Heather Clark, an English teacher for Ray Peck, opens up about how teachers budget during the school year.
Given the income that teachers typically make, it's important in their personal lives for teachers to budget, because then they know how much their spending needs to be, and we are typically paid once a month, and so you have to stretch that across that month time period.
If you have any questions about budgeting, visit Ms. Tina Foltz at room 520. This has been Nathaniel Morris with KPTV, Panther Television.
Thank you, Nate. Hopefully everybody learned a budgeting tip from that.
On February 12th, Gentlemen of the Court was held. Chris Herndon brings us a deeper meaning of what the event actually means.
Gentlemen of the Court has been going on for 4 years. This event gives basketball players the opportunity to take their mothers out and practice being gentlemen. Peyton Ball, a Ray-Pec basketball player, attends Gentlemen of the Court because it gives him time to bond with his mother.
It really gives me time to bond with my mom a little bit more because with all the sports we do, I don't really get to see her a lot, so it's good to see her and have a date with her.
Coach Germain believes it's important for him to teach the players skills that would be useful off the court.
How to be hard-working young men, men of integrity and teamwork, and I think some of the best examples we have is our mother.
Ball also believes that Gentlemen of the Court brings the coaches and players together.
Together more because they can see how we act with our family and like a better connection because we can see how they are with their family.
Busy schedule, the event gives Amy High, Peyton Ball's mother, a night with her son all to herself.
Because he's so busy all year with both sports, so it's at least one time a year we get to go on our date.
Coach Germain believes these skills are important for society because of how much we worry about ourselves and don't focus on others.
We're becoming a society that's very inner-driven, worry about ourselves, and I think that some of your most successful people have proven time and again that you really got to look outside yourself and try to build those up around you.
To a young man, one of his greatest influences is his mother, and through Gentlemen of the Court, the players can show appreciation for everything their mothers have done.
Countless sacrifices you made in my life are in your life. You're just an amazing role model. You show me how one can care about so many people, and you show me that anybody in this world can have a big heart. And I just wanted to thank you for everything you've done. You've been to pretty much every single basketball game, even when my brother and sister each had games on the same night. You've been a huge part of my life. You've been a good role model to my family.
And I can't thank you enough for that. You represent Jesus in my life well by these sacrifices, by the sacrifices that you make, and that encourages me to do the same for my peers and friends.
This has been Chris Herman with kptv Parental Television.
Thank you, Chris, for showing us that memorable event that Ray-Pec basketball holds.
As you all know, February is Black History Month. Alvin Williams shines the light on those that have had an impact on the culture.
Right, you're good.
Do you know who Martin Luther King is?
Of course.
Yes.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
George Washington Carver.
Yeah.
Harriet Tubman.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. Wait, yes.
Maya Angelou.
Yes.
No. Yes. What is this song? Maya Angelou? I don't know. Maybe?
Maybe. No.
Tommy Smith.
No.
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 No. Alright. Black History Month is more than just civil rights and Martin Luther King Jr. It's about black history, achievements, and celebrating human rights and equality. It was started in 1926 by Carter G. Woodson and the Association for the Study of Negro Life. Before, it was only celebrated in the second week of February. Now look how far society has come. However, people only know those who have been drilled into their brain. The most famous and well-known civil rights activist is Martin Luther King Jr. Everyone knows his story and what he stood for due to his famous I Have a Dream speech. In celebration of Black History Month, we're going to cover those who haven't been heard of as much, but are just as impactful in many ways. Emmett Till. Emmett Till was a 14-year-old African-American who was lynched in Mississippi in 1955 after being accused of offending a white woman in her family's grocery store. He was an innocent boy who was killed over making a compliment. His funeral was an open casket to show people how bad he was beaten, and the pictures were posted in the Jet magazine. The whole trial showed the brutality of the Jim Crow segregation. His case is one of the most memorable and brutal cases of the time of segregation. Ella Baker. Ella Baker was an African-American civil rights and human rights activist. She was a behind-the-scenes worker for more than 5 decades. She worked alongside more famously known activist workers such as Thurgood Marshall, Asa Philip Randolph, and Martin Luther King Jr. She promoted grassroots organizing, radical democracy, and the ability of the oppressed to understand their worlds and advocate for themselves. She was an impactful and strong woman who fought for equality and civil rights. She inspired others to push towards something greater than themselves and helped the great leaders that are more famously known. Tommy Smith and John Carlos. Tommy Smith and John Carlos were African-American Olympic athletes who competed in Mexico City during the 1968 Olympics. They won gold and bronze medals for the 200-meter running event.
During the playing of the Star Spangled Banner, they raised black gloved fists. This was known as the Black Power Salute. In Tommy Smith's autobiography, Silent Gesture, Smith explained that the fist was not to represent black power, but rather a human rights salute. This is seen as one of the most impactful and inspirational acts in modern Olympics.
This has been Zach and Javion with KPTV, Panther Television.
Thank you, Javion, for showing us the importance of Black History Month. Thank you guys for tuning in this week.
Make sure you check out our socials at RayPac Now on Instagram and Twitter, and our website at raypacnow.com. This has been Emma Gomez
And Asa Stone
with KPTV, Panther Television.